Welcome back, Wolfskinders, and welcome to my first ever guide on RuneScape. Today's guide, we are going to be discussing the Herblore skill, because that seems to be the one that I believe to be the slowest of the ones to get up. And I think I found a really good one, so here's my take on it, and I hope you guys enjoy. And the title says, we're going to be using swamp tar. Now, why are we going to be using swamp tar? Well, swamp tar is actually dirt cheap. Actually, you can get a shit ton of it for like less than 2 GP each at the low end, 4 GP on the high end, and 3 GP on the middle end. So there is a very way of getting this. Now, you guys know me, I like to get my stuff cheap. So I would most likely get your swamp tar at 2 GP each and just set on it. So whenever you get swamp tar, just set on it. Now, what are we going to be using our swamp tar for? Well, I have a little bit of a notepad of all the stuff we're going to be doing this with, and here it is. Hold on a second. Let me show you something. Let me do this real quick. Okay, there we go. So with our swamp tar, we are going to be making herb tar paste, I guess you could say. So we got Guam, Marintel, Turmeric, and Harlander. Now, as you can see from my inventory, we have what's known as an irit leaf. Well, we're not going to use the irit one, even though that is your best XP. We're not going to use that because that's used for high level. I think it's one of the combats. I think it's either attack, strength, or defense. And I want to say it's attack. So we're not going to be using that. So we're just going to be using all of these ones. Now, when you get up high in your herb lore, you're going to probably not pick up these types of herbs from the ground because you just don't see any point in them because you no longer use them. Well, I pick them all up as best as I can if I remember to. I kind of forgot to do the Guam and the Marintel, but I forgot. I mostly just did the Terriman and the Harlander because of the XP. Now, as you can see here, for each 15 for 15 tar, you're gonna make 15 Guam tar, which you're gonna get 30 XP for. 15 Marintel, you're going to get 42.5 XP. Terriman, that's 55. And Harlander, that's 72.5 XP. So this is where you're going to be using a lot of that stuff. Now, I know it might be considered a money sink, because what are you going to do with all the tar? Well, as you know me, I'm going to use the tar regardless. I'm just gonna go get a salamander and just pump those salamanders with the tar and just get the range XP for it. So because it's going to be really cheap to do, because you can't sell these. This is my money sink right now, where it's something to use the low level herbs to get rid of. So because I've been doing this for quite a while, and as you can see, I've got like over 31K worth of tar just sitting in my bank that I'm going to be using to do with a salamander. Like I said, I just don't want to waste it because they're really not worth anything. See, the G price for the Terriman tar is like 1 GP, while the Harlander is 2. So see, you're not really making any gold. But I thought since you don't want to waste XP for all this stuff, it's best just to use the low level ones and just use the swamp tar because of how cheap it is. Now you could, in theory, buy all the leaves and stuff like that, but you're gonna be charging like almost like 500 coins for a Guam leaf, for a Grummy Guam. So I say just pick them up passively as you go along, and once you finally get enough of what you think you should, just go in the G, put a buy order for like 2 GP, 3 GP, 4 GP of swamp tar, and just bust out some herb XP, because that's technically what I do. So yeah, like I said, these are These are the XPs you're going to get for each batch. And luckily, and thanks to the stacking order of Swamp Tar, it actually stacks. So you could, so what you're going to be doing is, we're going to close that now. So what you're going to be doing is when you have the Swamp Tar, you're going to grab one. So let's say we got the Guam leaf, that's ours. And then we take, so the Guam leaf right here is our Swamp Tar. So that's all the Swamp Tar we have. Then you take your Harlander, and then you just do all this and you combine it with the swamp tar, and it turns into the tar for the lizards. So that way you could just pull out. And like I said, if you don't, it's more of a money sink, but I think it's going to be really useful for the low level ones because you get more XP out of it. Now, yes, you could in theory take the low level ones and put them into unfinished potions and make some money. You can do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm just thought this would be a good guy for herb XP. So we'll check back in and see if that's really good herb XP for that making unfinished potions. But for right now, this is the XP to make herbalists. But I hope you guys enjoy my first guide into herbalist, and I will see you guys next time. You guys take care. Be well. Be safe. Have fun. Bye, everyone.